guys, welcome back to another video on The Walking Dead. What if Rick never woke up from his coma? So let's get into it. So while the Woodbury versus the prison war is going on, the governor sees that he's starting to lose people and men, and they gotta come here more prepared next time. So the governor and his army would retreat to Woodbury. And a few hours after the battle, the group are just recovering. They haven't cleaned any of the bodies up. They haven't greeted anybody. And Shane would be struggling to keep the group together. And Shane himself digs 3 graves, burying Beth, Ed, and Sophia. And by this time, Ben, Tyrese, Alan, and Sasha would all show up to the prison. Glenn would tell Shane that they need the numbers right now, and Shane, overall, he knows that they need the numbers if they want to beat Woodbury in a fight. And Shane would let Tyrese, Alan, Ben, and Sasha all know that they're already in a war with some other community, and if you want to stay, you've got to fight. And since Tyrese and his group, they all see a place where they can stay and be safe. Well, not apart from the war, of course, at Woodbury, but they don't even know if they're like strong or something. Shane just said, we're in a war with this other community. You could join if you want, but there is danger and stuff like that. And all they see is a home and a safe place where they could sleep with not one eye open. So they take it up. So basically, Tyrese, Sasha, Ben, and Alan all join the group. And meanwhile, at Woodbury, the governor would be planning on going to the prison and offering them a peace deal, saying that they could all unite as one, and the group could come to Woodbury, and they'll all be safe there. So the governor and his army, like the whole Woodbury army, head to the prison, and they're standing outside the fence, guns raised, and the governor would just say, "I'm just here to talk." And Shane comes out from the doors of the prison and he's like, "Talk about what? How you killed our people?" The governor replies with, "No, just here to talk. Since our battle happened, we thought you guys were a threat to our community, but now we see that you guys are just out here trying to survive just like everyone else. So how about this? We all come to peace and unite. Or if you guys want, you could stay here and live your days out, and we go back to our place and live our days out. Peace. Alright?" And Shane replies with, "If you want peace, that's alright. But if you do, you better get the hell out of here right now, because we are not going to stand back from a fight. But if you guys want peace, we'll have peace. But first, y'all gotta leave if y'all want peace." Like, he'd say something like that. I'm trying to make up a Shane voice or something. But yeah, so he'd say something like that. Then Merle and Daryl would come and they'd raise their guns. And then Woodbury would all be like, "Alright, we're leaving now." But before that, the governor would raise his gun and start shooting at the prison. And all of Woodbury would continue to fight along with the governor. And one of the first kills the governor gets is Alan, who, even though he just joined the group, he really would be one of the easier targets. And I know that he just joined and stuff, but like, to be fair, he did get killed from the governor anyway. And this is sort of like the first few parts of this like season would just be like the group like trying to live at the prison like safely. And this is like the season 3 finale, just saying. So Alan is killed. The Woodbury soldiers would start gunning down the prison, and then one of the prison towers would fall from the Woodbury's militia and gunpowder, and Ben is killed during this. And then this is when Andrew would pop out, and he'd steal Jimmy's gun, and he'd shoot Jimmy and kill him. But then Martinez would see Andrew, and he'd think that he's one of them, and Martinez kills Andrew, shooting him in the head. And this is when Milton, Martinez, and also Shumpert would just basically barge through the prison. Like, they launch their like heavy gunpowder onto the prison. Everyone takes cover and they all barge in and they start shooting up the prison. And the group are taking like cover and stuff. And then Shane shoots the governor in the arm. Then he stabs the governor in the eye, getting his eye out. But then Shane is gunned down by all of the Woodbury soldiers. As I feel like this is quite realistic, as there is no way that the group are taking on this many people. And in this universe, Lori gets her comic death where she gets gunned down by the governor and his militia. And Maggie is also shot in the back of the head, killing her also. And Glenn would have his head blown off with a shotgun by one of the Woodbury soldiers, killing him. And Herschel is also decapitated and killed. And Tyrese is also killed. And Sasha would also be killed, but then she'd reanimate into a walker and start killing Woodbury soldiers, but is eventually taken down also. And then soon after, Daryl Dixon, the GOAT himself, is shot down by Woodbury soldiers, and Daryl is killed right there and then. And soon after Merle's brother's death, Merle is also killed by Woodbury soldiers, and he would reanimate into a walker that is later put down by Woodbury soldiers. And Carol also gets her comic death, as the walkers in the prison would reanimate, like one of the group members, maybe Merle, he'd probably reanimate into a walker and bite Carol as he's a zombie, and then Carol would also turn and die. And the only survivor of this would be Carl, and Carl would be taken by the governor, and they'd all go back to Woodbury, as Woodbury stands tall above the group, as everyone in the group is dead except Carl. The governor would start forcefully raising Carl, and the prisoners such as Big Tiny and Axel and also Oscar would be killed during the battle. And this is where the What If series ends here. I know a lot of you guys are probably disappointed with this ending, and I'm sure a lot of you probably thought that this would go on longer like more of my other What Ifs, but I don't see a world where the group without Rick and some other people who have already died in our What If before. I don't really see a way where the group would actually beat the governor and his army. As in this universe, they had unexpected fights with the governor's army, so they were never prepared. So this is where realistically I think the group would end without Rick. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed, and bye-bye! With the group losing at the prison battle and all dying right there and then, except Carl as he's taken in by the governor.